In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Hello and regards, I am Muhammad Suleiman Ahmadzai. I'm here with a new session for you, my friends. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. We are in the lesson. We said that it relates to the right bundle branch of the heart. For example, we study its preparatory aspects and some lessons that are generally related to the heart's conduction system. As we discussed before, we have what you call RAM memory. There is also read-only memory, or RAM, which is permanent memory, and I have explained this chapter clearly for you. I mentioned that we also have cache memory, and we had some additional types of memory as well. This RAM is also related to the computer's additional memories, whether it's recycled or fresh, but again, this is a separate topic. Depending on the drive we have in the computer, for example, if we have a drive in the computer, when we include it here on the desktop PC, depending on the computer, this can be different. The recycle bin itself assigns a certain amount for each drive. Like if a file comes from a particular drive, it checks here, and if there are extras, it doesn't allow it, or something like that. You can delete the previous file, and wherever this file is located, for example, from anywhere, a specific amount is set, and through the recycle bin, we can delete a file so that it goes from here. If there are 3 or 4 drives, it makes a difference, or we can set it here so that if we delete a file from drive C, or from B, or from any other drive, how much is saved in the recycle bin for that drive. This is the option for restoring or deleting, and if we delete it, it gets removed from the recycle bin as well. When we delete a file, like this folder, we right-click on it and select delete, and then a confirmation dialog box appears for us. It asks for confirmation, whether you're sure you want to move this file to the recycle bin. Just like on a mobile phone, when you delete something, it goes into the trash folder. Then it stays in the trash folder for up to a month. If you don't delete it within a month, it will be automatically deleted. If we say yes to it, obviously it will be deleted. And if we say no, it won't be deleted. Some people don't do it that way. They just click and then press the delete key directly on the keyboard. It will still ask if you're sure. Some people turn off this dialog box. If we delete something, it no longer asks if we want to delete it. If this feature is enabled, it's good. No one will notice. They just delete something. It gets deleted automatically, you see? There's no time to think about it. Unlike when it asks for confirmation. From this, we realize whether what we deleted was correct. If we want or don't want that thing, if we don't want it to be there, we right-click here. Then, in a section called Properties, we have this option. It's called Display Delete Confirmation dialog box. If we turn this off and click OK, it won't ask for confirmation anymore. Anytime we right-click and select Delete, it gets deleted. Or if we press Delete from the keyboard, it deletes without asking. Now, let's say we want to undo. We can either undo from here or press Ctrl+C. Or we can do it from here. Let's say we want to restore it. This action restores it. If we say no, it should ask us first. It shouldn't do this without our permission and should prompt us. So, what do we do again? We enable Display Confirmation dialog. We turn on the dialog boxes. Alright, now here, if you right-click on the search, you know what the open option does. Empty the recycle bin without having to open the whole recycle bin. We can tell it which files are inside. We don't want those files, so have it check and delete them for us. We have 2 files. For example, I select this one. What do I do with both of these files? Delete? Yes. Okay, these files have been moved to the recycle bin. Now, from the recycle bin, we can either restore or delete those files. But let's say, from the recycle bin, these files. What do we want to do? Delete them. Delete them completely. Remove them entirely. You know what we do inside the recycle bin. We right-click. Why do I say that? To select empty recycle bin. When I say empty recycle bin, the recycle bin gets cleared. Everything that's in it gets deleted for good. We can't restore it anymore. Although, if we want, we can still do this from inside it. Alright, now that we've finished this part, let's go back inside. After this, in the recycle bin, there's an option called Pin to Start. We can pin the recycle bin to the Start menu as an application folder or a system folder. We can save it here so that if we want to open it from here in the future, even though most people don't do this. Anyway, if we want, we just right-click on it and select Pin to Start. If we go to the Start menu, we'll see that we have the recycle bin there, and if we want, we can use it from Start as well. If we didn't want it, then why am I saying this? Unpin from Start. Okay, after these 3 options, there's something called Create Shortcut, which is like copy and recycle. We can create a shortcut from the recycle bin and place it somewhere else. Generally, you can open it from there, and if you don't want to, that's fine. We have rename. In previous versions of Windows, we couldn't rename the recycle bin, so we used to work around it. But now, if we want, we can give it another name, like calling it trash or anything else we want. And if we don't want to, we can just leave it as recycle bin. Then, when we right-click on it and select Properties, the Properties window opens here. As we mentioned to you before, try to remember that when a file comes from the C drive, D drive, or any other drive into the recycle bin, there's a certain limit to how many files can be stored there before they get deleted. For example, if I select the C drive, it says the C drive is up to 140 gigabytes, and the other drive is 27 gigabytes. When a file is deleted from the C drive, up to 14 gigabytes of files can be stored in the recycle bin. So if you delete a file like this, for example, if a folder is 14 gigabytes in size, you'll see it in the recycle bin. If a folder is larger than 14 gigabytes, you'll get a warning that it can't be placed in the recycle bin. But there are ways to fix this. We can come and do what? Change this limit. We could set it to 20, set it to 25, for example, from the C drive. Whenever it's set, for example, to 20 gigabytes, or however much space you want for the E drive, how much space will be left? For example, if we set it to 7 gigabytes, in MB that would be 7,000. How much is that in MB? We can set 7 gigabytes and tell it that anything deleted from the C drive should go to the recycle bin. But for anything deleted from the D drive, select Do Not Move Files. We choose Recycle Bin. So for the recycle bin, it shouldn't keep anything from D. It should be like Shift Delete. It should be completely removed. Right, so when we go to U and say, for example, from the C drive, in this section, we have a file or folder called A, and I'm going to delete it. I tell it to delete, and it gets deleted and goes to the recycle bin, right? But now, let's say we have another folder on the D drive. It's called B. I delete this folder and confirm by clicking Yes. Now, in the recycle bin, one should be there and one shouldn't. Earlier, we told you that from drive D, anything that comes from the C drive can go to the recycle bin, but from the D drive, it can't. So when I check the recycle bin, there's only one file. Here, as we explained to you earlier, if we say that this file shouldn't go to the recycle bin either, it's better to set it in the recycle bin settings. Because when we delete it from here, we might need to restore it. So we select custom size and set how much capacity it should have. For example, 7 gigabytes. Usually, the standard sizes are fine and there's no problem if we don't delete them. For example, we don't keep 20 gigabytes of files in the recycle bin. We just delete a file or two that we don't need from there. It's not like we accidentally delete a huge folder with 21 subfolders without thinking about it. That's why it's better to keep both options set to the first one, and the more space you have, the more it can show here. Or, as I mentioned earlier in the dialog box, when something is deleted from the recycle bin, it's gone. Also, as we said before, when you right-click and delete, it goes to the recycle bin. Sometimes, after your file goes to the recycle bin, if you want to restore it, you can right-click on it without even opening the recycle bin and choose to restore it. Or if you want to empty the recycle bin, you can do that too. We also talked about Shift plus Delete. When you use Shift plus Delete, it doesn't even ask you if you want to delete the file or not, and it doesn't go to the recycle bin. It's deleted directly. So when you delete from the desktop, it's also deleted directly from the recycle bin. With the Shift plus Delete option, as we said, you can do all these things: delete a file, delete it from the recycle bin, or use Shift plus Delete. That's pretty much the complete menu I explained to you. Now, when we go into the recycle bin, it shows us a few buttons. For example, if we want to restore just one folder, to return the deleted folder to its original location, what do we do? Restore deselect item only. But if we say no, and we want everything in this recycle bin, everything that's there, to be completely restored to their original locations, what do? We say restore all items, and if we say no to that. For example, let's say we want to work with this recycle bin property, which I've already shown you step by step before. If we want, we can also open it from here to choose which folder to bring something from. Its dialog box will appear, which we've already worked with before. We can open this from here, and if we want, we can tell it that it's not a recycle bin. Everything inside it is deleted. Anything I don't need is completely removed. That's what we're telling it. Either the recycle bin, or even if it hasn't been opened at all, we can still tell it to empty the recycle bin. We could use this method to do what with an object? To drag an icon and tell it to Shift Delete. That's what I'm telling it to do from here. Emptying the recycle bin was a good thing. Our lesson was related to the recycle bin. And finally, I'd like to ask you friends if these videos have been useful for you to support us. Please like the videos in the channel, subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next sessions. Goodbye.